Am I the idiot for refusing to take my toddler to visit my in-laws? My husband and I have a young toddler, 15 months old. We live out of state from both of our families who are also far from each other, a 5-hour drive. Neither of our families live very close to a large airport, about 3 hours for my family and 2 for him. For context, my family adores my husband, his family hates me and I don't like them either. The reasons they hate me aren't important, just know that it's nothing I've done. There are certain unchangeable things about me that they hate, and they were against us being together as soon as they found out. Since establishing boundaries and getting married they have calmed down, but they still avoid speaking or making eye contact with me. Now we have a toddler and I'm planning a trip to visit my parents for an upcoming holiday. We're also planning to tour the area because we're considering moving there next year. I've done all the legwork to plan the trip. My husband wants to visit his family as part of the trip, but I refuse. My main reasons are, it's way too long of a car ride with how young kiddo is, it's already enough traveling and stress just getting out there. Second, they don't do anything for our kid. Multiple members of my immediate and extended family have visited at least once and stepped in to help with childcare gaps even though they are all a flight away. So part of the purpose of this trip is for us to be the ones going to visit instead of them always coming to us. The husband's family has never met kiddo and have only done 2 video calls, although they have sent some small gifts. Third, we'd have to take more time off of work to fit it in. The husband is pissed and thinks I'm trying to deny his family a relationship with our kid. I've extended an open invitation for them to visit, but so far they haven't. There's no financial burden on their side, they just give semi-plausible excuses. They counter with an offer to take kiddo for a few years so we can focus on our careers and kiddo can learn their language. That's a hard no from us. I offered to meet them for a day or 2 in the major airport city. They go there all the time, since we have to go back anyway, but that's not good enough either. Apparently we have to go to them, and can't expect them to accommodate us because they just won't do it. So if I want them to meet kiddo we have to do all of the work. But I don't really care if they meet kiddo or not, ESP, after all they've put me through. It's not my job to make sure that happens. I think if the husband wants them to meet kiddo then he needs to plan his own trip and coordinate with them, not tack on to what I'm already planning. My husband thinks it's ridiculous to expect him to plan another trip when we're already going to be out there, even though it's not exactly close, and that I'm not considering his feelings. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, you do have a marriage issue though, and a family issue. The offer to take the child for a few years to allow you to focus on your career suggests that his family is a certain ethnic group to me, and that you likely are not that same ethnic group. That is why they refuse to have anything to do with you. You need to make absolutely certain that you are present on any visit between your child and your husband's family. You don't want the child left with them, and your partner needs backup to say no. You also need to watch the interaction and make certain that they are welcoming to the child, and don't discriminate based on ethnicity. I hope I'm wrong, but I've seen it too many times. Good luck. Comment 2. Not the idiot. However, exactly what your in-laws hate about you is somewhat important here, because if your child shares those unchangeable characteristics, then you would actually be an idiot for introducing them to the kid at all. Now for the update. I appreciate all of the comments, even the ones that said you're the idiot, because it helped me remember to be empathetic to my husband's feelings. In the end I stood my ground. We will not be visiting my in-laws for this trip or at all in the near future. It definitely got a bit heated, but logically it just didn't make any sense to visit my in-laws. We'd be about 5 hours away by car, we'd have to rent a car to see them, we'd have to pay for a hotel because they don't want me in their house, and they don't even celebrate this holiday. I also recently started a new job and don't have much PTO banked up. What little I do have I need for the short holiday trip and then our big move in spring. I laid all this out to my husband and asked him how we would resolve these issues, and he didn't have an answer. I can't magically get more PTO. Either one of us wants to add 10+ hours of driving onto a trip that already has a cross-country flight or pay for a hotel/car rental. And frankly our parents do not live near each other even though it might be in the same region. Think one lives in NYC, the other in Buffalo, New York. Yeah, it's the same state, but it's not close at all. So this expectation that when we see one we have to see both has to stop. A few weeks later we talked about it again in the context of us moving closer, still 5 to 6 hour drive, and I laid out for him that I'm simply not willing to go so far out of my way to make sure my in-laws have a relationship with our kid. They're racist, they were terrible parents to all of their kids, but especially abusive to my husband. They're already playing favorites, Reed, golden child and scapegoat, with their other grandkids, and I'm not going to move heaven and earth to have the idea of a family with them. My husband has come a long way in not jumping every time they snap their fingers, but this was something he struggled with. I completely understand that he wants to have the same experience that I have had, of showing my kid off to my family, watching the bonds develop, etc. But in reality it just won't happen for his family. They don't care about him very much, never call or send a gift for his birthday even though he spends a lot of money on them for their holidays and birthdays. They still have no plans to come visit our kid and haven't done a video call in 6 months. In the more than 10 years we've been together, not once have they come to us. So we're dropping the rope. My husband is free to have whatever relationship he's comfortable with, but we aren't going to be putting in any extra effort right now unless something changes. I hope this helps other people in multiracial relationships see how things might turn out. Your in-laws may never come around, and you have to decide if it's worth it to you. For me it is, but it's not without conflict at times. Comment 1. He's living in fantasy land. He thinks spending money and time on his family will magically change them. Hold your ground. Stay away from them. They were horrible parents, and seem to be just as bad as grandparents, not the idiot. Comment 2. OP, I'm glad that your husband has come around. I also have to laugh at your update because I live in Buffalo, and there have been so many times people from elsewhere tell me how nice it must be to be able to go to NYC all the time. I'm always like, it's at least a 6-hour drive, so no. Then the original poster responded with, I'm glad somebody gets it. I'm not from Buffalo and no one in my story lives in Buffalo, but I am from NYS originally and people always act like I'm actually from NYC or that I must go there all the time. So annoying. Even my mom flipped out once when I flew to a NYS city to visit a dying family member for a weekend but didn't make time to visit her, over 4 hours away. So I guess everyone's susceptible to thinking you can just tack on an extra city if it's technically in the same area. Comment 3. You're the idiot. Wow, just wow. You're denying your husband's family a relationship with your child because of some petty reasons? It's clear that you have some deep-seated issues with them, but that doesn't give you the right to cut off your child from their grandparents. And your excuse that the car ride is too long for your toddler? Give me a break. Plenty of families travel long distances with young children without any issues. You're just making excuses to justify your selfishness. Your husband has every right to be upset with you. You're not considering his feelings or the importance of family bonds. It's time for you to grow up and put aside your personal grudges for the sake of your child's well-being. Stop being so stubborn and make an effort to foster a relationship between your child and their grandparents. Now, for the next story. Would I be the idiot if I attended my best friend's wedding? I, 24, female, have been best friends with Andrew, 24, male, since kindergarten. It's always been me and him against the world. We've had other friends throughout our lives and been part of different circles, but we've always been each other's number one. Things got tricky when we joined the dating pool. Some of my boyfriends would oftentimes get jealous of the bond we shared. Obviously to us, it was always purely platonic, but in our small town, a male and female friendship as close as ours was unconventional. Andrew started dating Jess in April 2019, and they are due to get married in January. I am extremely happy for them and I'm looking forward to having little babies to spoil. However, I recently found out through a mutual friend that Jess does not like me. Jess was telling my friend that she has always felt insecure about me and Andrew's friendship and thinks I have feelings for him. It was my first time hearing about this. She has always been nice and sweet when we've met up, so this came out of the blue for me. Our mutual friend advised me to not attend the wedding so as to not ruin Jess' special day. I have been thinking about not going, but I was named Andrew's best man alongside his brother, and I don't want to bail on him or hurt his feelings by not attending. So would I be the idiot if I attended my best friend's wedding? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. As I was reading your post I was thinking, go if you get an invite. Now that I read you are Andrew's best man, you should absolutely go. The wedding likely isn't going to change your dynamic. I have somebody in my life similar to Andrew. She's absolutely wonderful and my life is so much better because she's in it. In no way am I competitive with her relationship. In many ways I think I make it better. They are going to have to learn how to make decisions as a couple. You are one of them. If you are unsure, ask them both to dinner and talk about it. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Can't Andrew and Jess talk about it and find a solution? Seems like they should communicate soon and clearly. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Jess is just jealous, and it may or may not go away over time. If not, sit down and talk about it with her or ask if Andrew knows about it. If you are still dating, it will likely go away with time. Now for the update. Thank you so much to everyone who replied and gave me some things to think about in my previous post. I'm very happy to inform everyone that this is a happy update, and things thankfully didn't escalate. I reached out to Andrew and talked with him privately about what I had heard, and he was also as taken back as I was, given that Jess had not mentioned anything to him either. I asked for him to not mention it to Jess and instead chose to talk to her myself. We had lunch at my apartment, and she confided in me about some insecurities she had felt about my friendship with her fiancé. I was more than happy to reassure her that he was nothing more to me than a little brother. We also established more boundaries so she feels more secure. We also talked about what our mutual friend said, and Jess did talk to her about how she was feeling, but she never asked or even mentioned my participation in the wedding. I did offer to back out of the wedding party, but she insisted that it wasn't necessary, and both her and Andrew wanted me there. I did take some people's advice, and me and Jess will have a girls' night every Friday. It's important to me to be able to be even closer with her, and I want to be able to put any of her worries to rest. As for some criticism in my last post about me saying me and Andrew were each other's number one, I can assure you all that I meant it in. We'll have other friends, but we'll always be each other's number one friend. I know my place in Andrew's life, and I am in no way trying to be or will I ever be above his future wife. Comment 1. Finally, I get to read about mature behavior. This is how one is supposed to act. If there's a problem, address it with the person. Talk it out in a non-confrontational manner. Thanks for setting an example for other readers to follow. Comment 2. Great update. My husband also had a female best friend when we met. I decided I could be jealous or I could be friends with her as well. I've been married for over 2 decades and she's still my best friend. Her and I talk and hang out together much more than they do these days. I'm an aunt to her kids and she's an aunt to mine. Our families have even vacationed together for some years. Comment 3. You're the idiot. You sound incredibly self-centered and vindictive. Your in-laws may have their issues with you, but it's important to put your child's well-being and relationships above your personal grudges. Refusing to let your husband's family meet your toddler because of your own dislike for them is petty and unfair. Your husband has expressed his desire for them to have a relationship with their grandchild, and you should respect that. It's not about you or your feelings towards them, it's about fostering a connection between your child and their extended family. Your offer for them to visit on their own terms is half-hearted at best. If you truly cared about your child's happiness and growth, you would make an effort to facilitate these family connections. Your refusal to do so is childish and shows a lack of empathy. Grow up and prioritize your child's needs over your own resentments. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.